Okay. See you on Wednesday. Brilliant. Oh, Happy New Year, Keith. Hope everything's sorted in the house. Brilliant. Right, we're live there on YouTube. Let's go on to Instagram. So we'll kick off the new year. Easing into 2026, I think, is a good idea. Certainly need a bit of easing after 2 weeks of a little bit more rest and a little bit more running and stuff like that. Let's start off with zooming out. So hopefully you can see there. And feet shoulder width apart, tall through the spine. Just take a moment just to stand tall, feet connected to the ground, soften into the ankles, soften into the knees, and then tall through the spine. Just checking in with the breath, just noticing how you're breathing, relaxing the face, relaxing around the jaw. And just tuning in with however you're breathing. And then we'll start just gently rotating, moving from the hips and the waist, from the ground, moving from the ground up to the hips and the waist. And then just building the momentum. Arms relaxed, shoulders relaxed. Elbows bend, so you just knock across the front of the body and you knock across the back. I'm just going to whiz around so you can see arm is just knocking the back there, just tapping into the back, knocking on the door of life. So what this is called, this Qigong movement is called. Really easy, no force. Breath is calm. So we'll spend a little bit of time mobilizing and stretching, and then for the last few minutes of our session, we'll do some seated focus on the breath. The idea of mobilization is to get the blood flowing, lymphatic drainage, just easing into it, oiling the joints. When we first started these sessions back in, we were just saying 2020, 6 years now, well, 5 years, or is it 6 years? We were doing some challenges. So this year we're going to bring back some of those challenges. And the first one is going to be a squat challenge. So if you're interested in joining the squat challenge, join us on Wednesday and I'll explain a little bit more about that on Wednesday. I'm going to slow this movement down now into water waves. Here's where we feel that almost like a little bit of resistance in the air around you. Almost like you're running your fingers through water. And then come to standing. Just bring your feet a little bit closer. Let's just go hip width, just stand tall. And again, just check in, feet connected to the ground, soft ankles, soft into the knees, tall through the spine. How are you breathing? Check in with your breathing, not trying to change anything at all, just noticing. Relaxing into the face, the jaw, the eyes. Step back out. A little bit of a bend in the knees now. Spinal cord breathing, breathing in as you bring the elbows back and lift the chest towards the sky. And then breathe out as you tuck the tailbone underneath and curl up into a little ball. So we're tilting the pelvis, spilling out the front of the pelvis as we breathe in, tucking the tailbone, spilling out the back as we breathe out. And then find your comfortable rhythm. A little bit more of a stretch here, but not forcing anything. Stretching out the front of the neck as well, the throat. Let's do 3 more in your own time. And then this standing posture, we stay with our feet shoulder width apart and we just bring our palms towards the ground. A little bit of roundness in the elbows there. Tall through the spine. And as you are breathing now, just breathing comfortably, naturally, I want you to imagine your ribs just expanding out to the side here as you're breathing in and breathing out. And actually not just imagine it, you'll feel it. So we're not trying to breathe more air, but just notice that flexibility, that elasticity in the rib cage. Just following 3 more breaths. And when you've done that, have a little shake out and move around if you need to move around a little bit. And then come back to shoulder width apart, tall through the spine, dog wags the tail, shifting the hips side to side. Remember on this one, the hips are parallel to the ground. So I'm not doing this. That's a different exercise. Hips parallel to the ground. Keep that spine just balanced on top of the pelvis for now. So spine is literally balanced on top of the pelvis, moving with the pelvis. And then you can free up the spine and give it a nice ripple, a wave side to side. Using the ground, pushing into the ground. Always keep tall through the spine as well. Breathing easy in and out through the nose, and then slow it down. We'll come back to our standing posture, standing position, palms towards the ground. Tall through the spine. Breath settling. Relaxing into the face. So remember those 3 key movements every day, every single day. Spine rotation, spine flexion and extension, and lateral flexion of the spine. Key to keep that spine strong but flexible. Let's go into the shoulders now. So do some nice big shoulder rolls. And still, even though we're focusing on the shoulders, you're using the spine, because if you notice, if the shoulders roll forwards, you can roll the spine. You can ram the spine a little bit there. As you lift and lift the shoulders up and back, you can lift that chest a little bit. So it's working from the spine. Everything comes from the center, comes from the spine. You can breathe with this as well. So we're breathing in and then breathing out. And with the breath, not forcing the breath, just easy breath in, easy breath out. Remember, we want to breathe just the volume of air that we need for what we're doing at any given moment in time. So we don't want to be breathing more air, because then we end up over breathing, which disturbs the balance of CO2 and oxygen. And at the same time, unless it's a deliberate exercise, we don't want to be breathing less air than we need. Let's change direction. That feels good on the shoulders. Smooth, 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 smooth it out, smooth out any jagged edges. Let's do a couple more. And rest, stand tall. Let's just stand in a comfortable position. Let's go feet shoulder width, tall through the spine, arms just hanging by the side. Again, check in, feet connected to the ground, tall through the spine. Back to shoulder width apart. Let's do some stretches through the arms. So remember, it's as if we're about to clap the hands together, but then you flex, you dive down, dive back down, and then spiral. Enjoy that spiral. Stretch as you're coming up. Go to clap, down, spiral. Say this every time, but great if you're working at a laptop, you're on your phones all day, keyboard, stretching out the arm line, the fascia, the ligaments, the tendons. And just breathe comfortably through this. Really stretch the fingers, the wrists. When you are ready, you can change direction, so you're pushing away. Breathing easy. And then shake out. Washing the face. Get the shoulders involved, get the shoulder blades involved. Get the hips involved a little bit. Go the other way. Speed it up, slow it down, shake out. Let's do a little bit of balance. So let's balance. If I'm mirroring you on the right leg, bring that left leg forwards. Let's just do some ankle circles. Circling the ankle. If you need to use a chair or a wall to balance on, feel free to do so, because the purpose here is that obviously balancing, but circling and getting those ankle mobility. Change direction. Shake out. Balance for a moment. And then swap sides, stabilize down the opposite side. Circle. Spreading the toes. Again, use a wall or use your arms if you need to balance. Remember our two tigers that you can rest on. Spreading the toes, going the opposite direction. And then shake out. And let's have a good shake. Let's start off gently. So just using the legs, just flexing the ankles. So just a gentle bounce. So feet connected to the ground, tall through the spine. Just feel that movement all the way through the body. Feel the shoulders, arms. Notice if there's any areas where you're just holding tension. See if we can just get that gentle bounce. Notice, let the head go a little bit with that as well. Are you holding tension in the neck? You're holding tension in the jaw. And then we can start to shake the wrists. So now we brought the arms into the movement, actively using the arms as pumps. So we're using the legs, the arms. And then if it feels comfortable, start to tap the heels into the ground. So you're getting that vibration through every part of the body, in the bones, fascia, ligaments, tendons. Let's do a couple of cleansing and clearing breaths. So taking a calm breath in through the nose. Hold at the top and let go. Let's do that again. Breath in. Hold and let go. Let's do washing machine, where you're doing opposite heels to the ground. Get that vibration going through the body. Have a good shake. Do whatever you want to do. Have a really good shake out. A little bounce up and down. And then slow it down. Let's do palms out. Let the breath settle. You might feel you want to do a nice full breath. Hold the breath and then let that breath go gently. Feeling all the tingling sensations. Lovely. And then when you're ready, take a seat. You can sit on the floor, take a chair, or you can stay standing if you want to stay standing. It's totally up to you. But in what we would call a resting posture, just to do a little bit of focus on the breath. And we're going to just play around with a gentle pause at the end of exhale. And why this is good or beneficial is it helps us to slow the breath. And if we slow the breath, it helps to send that signal to the brain, to the nervous system, to everything is calm, everything is fine, and it helps to put the brakes on a little bit. So to start off with, just finding that comfortable seated position. So if you're on a chair, you've got your feet on the floor, nice and stable. Again, that's a good way of setting up the body to realize, or the mind to realize, that everything is safe, you're stable. Tall through the spine. Relaxing into the face, softening and relaxing into the brow. Relaxing the face muscles are another way of sending that signal to the brain to say, yeah, all is good. Softening and relaxing around your eyes, eye sockets. If you want to close your eyes, close your eyes. If you want to keep them open, just a soft gaze. Relaxing, softening, relaxing into the jaw. Lots of jaw tension, so relax the jaw. The jaw's tight, the rest of the body goes, oh, something's going on, my jaw is tight. So soften and relax in the jaw. And just resting the tongue, the tip of the tongue very gently on the roof of the mouth. And that's a great way of bringing your attention or your focus or your awareness, just noticing the air as you're breathing in and out through the nose. So we're not changing anything here. Remember, we're breathing just the right volume of air that you need for what you're doing at this present moment. Remember all the space you've got behind the nose as well. So that breath is going back. That air is flowing back, not up the nose. So feel the coolness of the air as it flows back. And just settling into your rhythm. So don't feel you have to breathe in for a certain count or breathe out for a certain count. The key is rhythm at the moment. So just settle into your rhythm. Notice the coolness of the air as you're breathing in. and the softness as you're breathing out. If you notice that your mind has drifted off, that's normal. But part of this practice, of this exercise, is to train our attention back to that physical sensation of the air, coolness of the air as you're breathing in, that softness of the exhale. So whenever your mind has drifted, just come back to that physical sensation. And all we're going to do is every third breath, so one breath is a breath in and a breath out, is an inhale and an exhale. Every third breath, when you get to the end of that soft exhale, normal exhale, we're not pushing anything. I just want you to pause at the bottom of the breath and just count 1, 2, 3, and then let that breath flow back in, or 3, 2, 1, whichever way you want to count it. So every third breath, just pause for a count of 3. So you're focusing on cool air as you're breathing in, that softness of the exhale, and then just pausing for a count of 3 at the end of every third breath. And if that feels comfortable, we don't want to go anywhere near air hunger or gasping. Should feel comfortable. You can just switch it up to the pause at the end of every second breath. So your choice. Go with what feels comfortable, what feels good. And what is lovely about this practice is you don't need an app, you don't need music, you don't need candles, you don't need space to do it. It's just something that you can do. You could do it walking to the supermarket. Gentle pause. It's not going anywhere near air hunger. We're not doing any breath holds. It's just that gentle pause at the bottom of the breath. And that helps to recalibrate the breath, helps to build our tolerance to that very gentle increase in CO2. It helps us to slow the breath. It helps the breath to slow in a situation where you want that breath to be a little bit slower without forcing it. So just to finish, take a nice big full breath in, maybe do a little bit of a stretch, expand, and oh, back to bed. Oh, do we go running? Let's, yeah, we'll go running. Or maybe we go back to bed. Brilliant. It's good to be back. Happy New Year 2026. We've got another year of these Breathe Balance moves every Monday and Thursday, not Thursday, Monday and Wednesday, 8 till 8:30. As I said, if you're joining on Wednesday, we're going to start the squat challenge again, which is fun to do, to have those challenges. And also, if you are core members, remember on Saturday we've got our floor flow session at, I think it's 10 o'clock, but I'll ping an email out on that again today. Thanks for joining. Lovely to see you. Have a great rest of the day. Happy New Year, and I'll hopefully see you on Wednesday. Take care. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.